Hello, everybody, and welcome to Weightedtowin. It's very good to have you all with us here this long weekend. We decided to come early Thursday night. Daryn and Darryl, they're not going to be here. They're going on holiday. They're going away, and so I can't record. We can't do any recording on Friday. So, Darryl, where are you off to on Friday morning?
I've actually just got quite a bunch of people coming over to my place. I'm going to be busy all day. I'll probably, if you wanted to record tomorrow evening, I probably would have been a good few beers down by then. So I think let's keep it professional by doing that on Thursday evening.
Good idea. Good idea. And you, Daryn, the long weekend plan. I think you're going to be braaiing all day tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm going to be braaiing at a friend's house tomorrow. I was invited to Plettenberg Bay with my sister on Saturday for a week timeshare at the Beacon Isle, but I turned that down because I want to watch the racing on Saturday.
Okay. Well, I mean, as good as it was last weekend, I hope you guys are tuned up for this Saturday. I mean, the last weekend's information that was supplied, I think there were a lot of happy people, Daryn. So hopefully the form continues on Saturday.
Yes, it was the pick six didn't pay much. You made your money back, but the multiple 14-1 multiple arrived. And the all to win missed by one. I think it was 4 winners and a second. But the 14-1 multiple arrived, and then Darryl's best bet and value bet arrived at about 12 or 14-1 odds.
That's brilliant. Good form, Darryl. The winners are rolling in. It's great that all the guys are in form, and that's basically what we want to do, is make sure that everybody's on same sides here, and keep the form rolling. So let's get straight into the action if I can, guys, and see where we are with regards to the betting on the fourth race, which I've got courtesy of World Sports Betting, because they come out early with the market, and teletrack.com graduation plate. It's over 1,200 meters. And in this race, you've got number 7, Worship, who's the 22-10 favorite. 6, Remember When, is the second choice at 5-2. And then you've got 7-2 about number 1, Freed from Desire. But it's a plated race, Daryn. I'll start with you. It's a plated race, and it's important to look at the weights.
Yes, it is. And actually, my best bet on the card is Remember When. I was quite surprised to see her around 5-2 in the betting. But on her debut, when she beat Worship, she made up a lot of ground between the 400 and 200 meter mark. She really quickened up well and then got there and just stayed on the same pace. That was her first outing. Her second outing was in a feature race at Greyville. She was thrown in the deep end. She cramped for a bit of galloping room at the 400 when they entered the straight, and then she stayed on strongly for second behind Mariah. She comes out fresh after a short break, but I believe the inside track from a good draw is going to suit her because of a good turn of foot. So I do think she's got the measure of Worship, and Freed from Desire and Worship wasn't much separating them last time. But Freed from Desire has gone up 2.5 kilos, where Worship is better off 2.5 kilos. So I make the best bet Remember When. I think she'll take a lot of beating in this lineup.
Okay, that's interesting. So Remember When, the best bet on the card for Daryn's going to go early. First leg of the pick 6. His bank, I would assume, number 6. Darryl, I did speak to Paul Peter because they've got a lot of runners, and I just wanted to run a few things by him. And I asked him about Freed from Desire, and he said to me that she's very well at the moment. He was just a little concerned about the draw.
Clyde, in her favor, last time out, she managed to settle just off the pace. And when Warren pushed the button, she quickened extremely well. Our concern is that Worship's got her at the weights. However, they did pull a good few lengths ahead of the third place runner on that occasion. Big-eyed girl, and subsequently she's come out and won. So the form has been franked. But it's actually quite surprising to see Remember When not at the top of the boards, because they've met once before. It was her debut, and she's beaten Worship. So I thought she should be favourite. She's a deserving favourite, Remember When. Done absolutely nothing wrong. But Worship is a danger. She's obviously improving with racing, and that was a very eye-catching effort on her behalf last time out. As I said, they were well clear of the third place runner. So I do believe it's the top 2 are enough to get you through the first leg of the pick 6. I've only put Worship and Remember When, and I think that's a safe route. Darren's opted to bank her, remember when, and make it his best bets on the card. And on form, she's got the beating of Worship. So I'll be very happy if she does happen to come through.
Just on the ratings, I see the ratings are out on both of those fillies. Remember when fifth, going for a third start. She's a 94 coming into the race, and Worship's a 86. So that's effectively 4 kilos that Worship, if it was to be a handicap, that you should receive from Remember When, whereas they're both carrying 57 in this graduation plate.
Yeah, obviously Remember When got penalised for second in the grade 2 debutante at Grable. I thought she built from her first run to her second run. It was a good effort second time out. The only reason why I'm backing her up in the pick 6 with Worship is Worship's had a run, I think it's only 28 days ago, whereas Remember When hasn't been seen in 56 days. So maybe Worship's got racing fitness on her side, but I do expect the top 2 to fight it out. Okay,
that's race number 4. Race number 5 on the card. Darryl, I'll stay with you. And Paul Peter said, whatever happens, you've got to put, in his opinion, both of his runners in. He's got both Dr. Doolittle and Green Hayes, 1 and 2, yeah, very well, and they both must go. No favourites. He doesn't prefer one over the other. He says they're both, you can't separate, but you must put both of them in. And Ndlamu's top of the boards at 5-2, but it is a handicap. It's at the 104 level. Is it competitive, or does it end with the top 3?
I think it's a very competitive race, Clyde. You know, the track is running extremely quick at the moment. And
how did it, sorry, I didn't watch close enough today. How did it play today?
Yeah, well, on the inside track, on firm going, you always want to be handy. It's always in your favor if you've got a horse that's got natural pace. And that's the reason why I'm leaning towards number 10 of here, Stone Cold. You know, he's been contesting weaker races in the past. You can see he's been carrying hefty weights, whereas now he takes a big jump up in class, and he's only got 52 kilos to shoulder. So, you know, he has won over a mile in the past. I don't believe he's had the easiest of times over the 7 furlongs recently. And I think if he's able to settle, which is most important now, if he's able to settle over a mile with 52 kilograms, he's going to race up handy. I think he's going to be the one that have to fetch up the straights. So I've made him my value bet on the card. I think he represents value at this stage. I backed him up in the pick 6 with a few others. In Glamour, you can obviously see he's still on the upgrade, but the handicapper hasn't done him any favors. He's picked up a £4 penalty for running second and another £1 penalty for running 4th. But in saying that, he's still getting better with racing, and I don't think the handicapper's quite caught up to him yet. So I've got healthy respect for Ndlamu. And then don't rule out the chances of number 9, Full Mast. You can see he's finished close up recently in his last 2 starts. And on his side of the coin, he's dropped by £4. So I think that puts him into the race with a chance over here. And Leopold, have a look at his rating. He's plummeted from a 111 to a 99. He's having his peak run now, and he's back in a handicap. So it wouldn't be a surprise to see him bounce back to form. But just the way I see the race being run, I think it's going to favor a horse like Stone Cold, and I think he's going to be the one to fetch. I just want to touch on Dr. Doolittle. There's no doubt he's the class package in the race, but I don't think the mile on the inside track is going to be in his favor. I'm waiting for him to switch to the stand side track, 10 furlong. I think we'll see the best out of him come then.
Okay, so it sounds, okay, you go in Stone Cold, even money or thereabouts a place. I see in the market at the moment, the first 3 at 6-1 and outright on Stone Cold for Candice Dawson and Muzieni. Darren, how do you see it? Is it as competitive?
Well, I see this race as a very competitive race. I've actually loaded in the pick 6. I haven't taken any chances. I've left a couple out, such as Marching On Together, Matterhorn. They're both looking for a lot further. Kingsley's Heart I don't like. Alibi Guy I don't like. So I have gone 6 out of the 10 runners. And in Ndlamu, he's most effective on the inside track. He likes to race handy. His last run on this course, he won very well. on the standside track, he was actually placed second in a 104 handicap in his penultimate start, and followed it up on the poly track in Durban behind Cat Daddy. Very good run. He had bottom weight that day, but that was a very strong field. And I do make him the horse to beat over Stone Cold with only 52 kilos. Like Darryl said, if he settles in running, hopefully there's a genuine pace on, and Muzzy will tuck him into a good position, and he'll be the horse to catch going through the 400 along with Ndlamu. Leopold, I would have liked to see him have another run. He had a lengthy layoff. He's had the 2 runs back. I think he might just need one more to sharpen up. And then horses like Dr. Doolittle, I do believe he's more effective over 2,000 meters, 1,800 meters, but he must go in. And then there's not much separating Green Haze and Full Mast on form, but Full Mast is 2 kilos better off for a length beating. So very open race we are loading up.
So what's your first choice, Darren?
Ndlamu over Stone Cold.
Okay. So 5 and 10 for Darren in that particular event, but it does sound like a very hard race. Having chatted to Paul about this race, he's persuaded me to make City by the Sea one of the best bets on the card, and I've done that personally. I know 62 is a hefty weight, but he's running in a 70 handicap, and I was happy with the fact that he's drawn well, City by the Sea. His other runner got a chance, but this Paul has told me he's best on the day and hard to beat. So with that draw and having won on the inside track before, and I don't know where the false rail is going to be, it's too early to tell. I suppose they'll assess the track this evening and tomorrow, and they'll make up their minds by tomorrow evening. There may be no false rail. It'll be interesting to see where the false rail is, but he's got a good draw. Darren, can I bank a City by the Sea?
Well, I would take 2 perms, because my perm, I've actually gone 5 horses here. City by the Sea, definite runner. He's the horse to beat, but he has got a 4-point penalty in his last 2 starts for running second behind Supreme Dance and second behind Midnight Caller, who actually came out to win again at Greyville last time out. So the form lines are solid. He's got a 1 draw. He's going to have every chance from there, but the 62 kilos, that might count against him. Horse like Noble Striker, I found as value at 7 to 1. He's lightly raced. He did beat Iron Will on the inside track over the 1450. That was a really nice win. Then he seemed to lose his way a little bit. He went to Durban for the Gatecrasher Stakes, and then he came back, and last time out, the 1,200 meters at the Vaal, he wasn't disgraced 2.5 lengths behind Money Fighter. So if he can build on that kind of effort, he enjoys this course. He's had 2 runs for 1 win and 1 place. He could be the lurker in the pack. Florida Keys, a bit disappointing last time out, but got to go in. She's got consistent form. And I've also thrown in Golden Tune, who returned right back to best after a 3rd run after a lengthy layoff last time, going start to finish tactics, and they are winning from the front. So if Craig Zaki can get a soft lead, he might be the one to catch.
Okay, so your first choice, Noble Striker.
Noble Striker and City by the Sea. I'm not going to split them.
Now, don't you wish Ryan Munger won the last race at Turffontein on Thursday?
Yes.
Lost momentum around the turn, they say. Darryl, okay, so I asked Darren the question. I'm bankering City by the Sea. Have I lost the plot?
God, he's going to be very, very hard to beat. Like Darren touched on, he picked up a 3-pound penalty when they nearly pulled off a coup of note at the Vaal. Very unlucky. But in saying that, I believe he was very fortunate in only getting away with a 1-pound penalty last time. Himself and Midnight Caller pulled 6.5 lengths clear of the 3rd place horse. They were well clear. And just judging by how the race should be run, he should get the run of the race. He's got natural early speed. Warren can just place him behind the front runners and he can turn it on. So he's definitely the horse to beat. I've only backed him up with 1 horse in the pick 6, and that's the likes of Master of Law. I thought he made a nice debut for his new yard. In saying that, they did remove the tongue tie on that occasion. So I don't know if that's actually done the trick for him. But he's got natural pace, and he's got a few kilograms in hand in favor of City by the Sea. So if Muzi bounces in him and gets him to the front it would be no surprise to see him be thereabouts when it matters most. So I think it's a natural exact over here, 30 by the sea from Master of Law. If you want to play for the result, take it boxed, but I do believe the favorite's very, very hard to beat.
Okay, interesting. That's the sixth. As we go on to the seventh, this is a handicap, and it's a 94 over the 1200, where Prince of Fire is top of the boards for the Janssen van Vieren stable at 22-10. Super excited. The second choice here, Darryl, at 33-10. Grapplers 4-1, and then 9-2 and better about, 9-2 Severescent, 8-1 and better about the others. Again, a handicap. So, and at that level, at the 94, I don't know what you think of the market here. Is Prince of Fire, how's he priced? Is he too short? Should he be a bigger price?
I think he'll trade closer to, my opinion, maybe 28-10 race time. I don't think the market's that far off, Clyde. You know what? He's 2 from 2. He's done absolutely nothing wrong. He does come into the race 2 pounds under sufferance, but in saying that, the handicapper surely hasn't got hold of him. He's only starting his career, and he's well ahead of the handicapper if he's got natural improvement to come. He's got 52 kilograms to shoulder. He's drawn 1. He's got a lot of positives in his favor. The stable's in good form, and he should get the run of the race. So yes, healthy respect for Prince of Fire. In saying that, you have to respect the chances of number 6, Super Excited. Last time I didn't think he looked like he had a winning chance throughout that race, except for the last 50. And my only concern with him is maybe he's looking for the 7 furlongs now. But you have to take note that he achieved a 99 last time out, Clyde. So he comes into this race 4 pounds well in, 2 kilograms. You have to take note of that. That's certainly in his favor. I haven't discounted the chances of number 5, Severescent. He's 1 from 1 with the blinkers. And Daryn made him a good thing on that occasion. And you know what? He was very, very lucky to get up, because he suffered interference during the running of that race. And I thought he did very well to get up despite the interference. So he could be, I know he beat a Wheatfield on that occasion, but he could be a good few pounds ahead of the handicapper, because if he got things his own way on that occasion, he would have trounced that field by much further than what he did. So I respect his chances. And then Grappler was scratched midweek. He was meant to contest the race up in KZN, and they scratched him. They took him out with this race in mind. So third run after arrest, Sean Terry stable certainly come to form, and he's back over the 6 furlongs. Up on 4 horses in the pick 6, I think that's more than enough to get through this leg.
Yeah, the top 4, right? Okay, so that's interesting, especially the comments around Super Excited. Daryn, this particular event, as we look at it, Darryl's assessment, and I think he's picked up on a good point in terms of Super Excited, which I think we need to note in terms of the weights. Currently priced up at 33-10. What's your first choice?
My first choice is Super Excited. I was really impressed with his last victory. He beat horses like Ultra Quick and Tuscan Winter, and they're very highly regarded in the Van Vieren yard. He got up late. I think he's going to build on that effort. I think he's maturing. I think he's got a lot of a very progressive sort. He's got a good enough draw, and I do believe that he can follow up in a race like this. Prince of Fire, he's won both times over the 1,000 meters, didn't beat much on debut, and then followed up in handicap company, was a good win. And on pedigree, the 1,200 meters should suit him even more. So he's got to go into the equation. And then Severescent got up late last time out, would have been an unlucky loser. And on the inside track, he ran second in his only start behind Full Velocity. And that sort of form is standing up. But for me, I think Super Excited could be a touch too good for this lot.
Okay, 33-10 at the moment. Super Excited as we look at the 8th race on the card. By the way, Paul Peter in that race said they're hoping for an improved run with their horse. As we go on to the 8th, which is the final leg of the jackpot. And when I asked him about Super Abra in this particular event, he said very, very well, but he says he believes Quantum King is very hard to beat in the race. It's the class act of the race. Daryn, would you agree with that?
Yes, I do agree with that fully. Quantum King, he was thrown in the deep end over a mile for the first time at Greyville, and I don't think he was quite ready for that, especially after winning at 1200 on the inside track in his maiden victory, which he won very well. But I'm leaning towards Super Agra. I think you can put a line through his last start. He's a horse that needs to get handy into a good position. He jumped awkwardly. He was throwing his head around. He wasn't a happy horse, and he didn't find much extra the final 300 meters. I think he's got to get to the front or sit handy, and then he's got a good burst at the 400-meter mark, and he'll be the horse to catch. Quantum King is first run back after the 31st of July run in that feature race. It's difficult to assess how good he is, but he's obviously held in high regard, and he's got to be in the shortlist. So for me, Super Agra to beat Quantum King, and to me it is a two-horse race.
Just the two. Okay, Darryl, and for you, how do you summarize the 8th race?
I think Darren touched on a good point. Last time at Super Agra, he never got to the front from a fairly wide draw. And with stronger handling in the irons, Warren knows him well. He's best when he's up front. So, and he's very, very dogged. He's gutsy. So healthy respect for Super Agra. I like him a lot. And then Quantum King, Comet Tiden's half brother. They threw him into the Grade 1 Premier's Champions Stakes last time out. He was just doing it way too hard. He never settled. He might get it in time to come when he learns how to race, but I think the drop-in trip is certainly going to benefit him over here. He's got a cracking draw. He should be there for nothing. So I think those two are certainly the two to fight it out. But I believe if they go a little bit too hard, I won't be discounting number 8, the McQuackers. He loves the course and distance over here. So if they go very hard up front and the top two flap their lines, it wouldn't be surprised to see the McQuackers pick up the pieces. But I do think the top two are going to be very hard to beat. McQuackers for your trifectas.
Okay, so don't leave it out. And you're right, Roy Madden is also in very good form at the moment. So perhaps watch that closely for quartet punters. But to the 9th race we go, the final leg of the pick 6. And yeah, Paul Peters got a few runners. They says they have to be included. They don't leave them out of the pick 6. But it is a 66 handicap. So I would imagine 5 to 1 the field. Darryl is probably correct.
Yeah, very, very difficult. I think if you're running into the pick 6 at this stage, you certainly want to have as many as possible. I've opted to go field at the back. Paul Peters got the top two in the card over here. Number 1, Love Lies, and number 2, Dragon Queen. They're drawn alongside each other. I don't think they're going to be cutting throats, the two stable companions. I'm hoping Dragon Queen goes forward and Love Lies can just slot in behind her and get the run of the race, because he's in good form, coupled with the fact with a good draw and 4 kgs off his back. I think he's certainly going to be there at the finish. He's my narrow first pick. I like the look of number 5, After Hours. He's another course and distance winner over here, and he held Father Time on their last. He's held by Father Time on their last meeting, but in his favour, he's slightly better drawn over here. So healthy respect for After Hours, and I also like the look of number 8, Life Goes On. He's finished close up recently. Samanga Kamalis stayed with him for the 3rd time over here, and if he gets a little bit of luck in running, he'll be there at the finish. I know he's helped by Love Lies, but I respect his chances. I think if I was pushed into a corner, those are the 3 I'd be focusing on in the last, but it's very, very hard, Clyde.
So the one would be your first choice, which is perhaps is the indicator in terms of your quartet. So maybe we use the 1. And Darren, what's your first choice? Maybe we can double float.
Well, I'm going with After Hours. He's been very costly to follow, but he has got ability on his day. In his penultimate start and the time before that, 3 runs back, he wasn't striding out too well. And they gave him a month off. They brought him back last time out. And he seems to hit a flat spot going through the 400. He needs a bit of urging, and then he starts staying on strongly towards the finish again. So if he's in contention from a good draw, couple of lengths off them, and can get going early, he'll be staying on very strongly late. And off his current rating, he's going to win a race very soon off a 65 merit rating. So I make After Hours the horse to beat over Father Time, who won with a lot of running last time out. The stable's in form. He's drawn a bit wide, but I do believe that he'll be very competitive. And then my third choice is Informative. Ran a good race last time. I expected a bit more from him, but he does enjoy the inside track, and he should be thereabouts.
Okay, 593. Double float 1 and 5 with the field if we're going with the top two tipsters. Now, the WhatsApp Prive has taken off, as you all know. Those who have joined, if you have already joined, please don't worry about resending your number, because you honestly don't have to. We've got your number and you're already in the group or on the group, and we are going to be sending messages. You're probably wondering, thank you so much. We're probably wondering why we haven't sent you messages just yet. Well, because we are at this point in time finalizing our detail and exactly what the promotion will entail. So don't get left behind, because as you know, with WhatsApp groups, you can only have so many participants, if you like. And at this point in time, we're 75% of the way there. So if you haven't sent your number to your name and number to your email address, sorry, to this number, please do so you can be part of what's to come. Daryn, remember when your best bet on the card on that slide? You want to take us through it?
Yeah, I'm taking my chances. First leg of the pick six, in or out. I'm pretty confident. Remember when we'll make a winning return to racing. I think she's got a lot of class about her, and I think she does hold a couple on form. So for me, remember when 5-2, a good price. And then my multiple, remember when to win. Super excited to place, super aggro to place, and after hours to place, and you get about 14-1. And if you want to take a little nibble on the all to wins, you get around 420-1.
Not impossible, eh? You're in form. A guy puts 100 rand, he stands to win 42,000 if he takes that all wins those 4 horses. So it's not impossible. Nothing scares me anymore when it comes to these type of odds. Let's have a look at Darryl's selection. Darryl, no best bet for you on the card.
No best bet, Clyde. But I have found a value bet that comes up in the 5th race in the form of Stone Cold. I like the fact that he's got a postage stamp weight to shoulder and he races handy. My only concern is the mile and if he's going to settle in running. But I do believe that because he's won over a mile in the past, I do believe that the distance is within his reach. I just need to see him settle in running, and I'll be very, very excited to see what happens over the final furlong. And then my pick 6, I've opted to go 2 horses in the front. Remember when in Worship, I'm just playing the safer route. I do believe remember when is the filly to beat, and then I've opted to go field at the back, looking for that result that we need to end up in the winners queue.
Okay, and that perm is 100. Am I correct? If we got it 192 rand, is that right? 192 rand, 10%, is correct. Eh? Yes, I've checked it. It's done. It's correct. All right, so the weighted to win double for the day with Daryn going, remember when, who's at 5-2. Stone Cold, the place money at the market at the moment is around even money. And so that's about 7-1 the stretch on the double. So 5-2, remember when, and even money, the place, the first 3 about Stone Cold, 7-1 the stretch if we get that weighted to win double right. Then I thought that I'd go with City by the Sea in race 6, number 1, and race 8, number 2, Quantum King at 15-10 as the best bets on the card. That double, if you get the stretch, is worth around 5-1. And that's our play, guys. Thank you very much for this Thursday evening. I know it's Friday night, but with the holiday, we hope you're all going to have a pleasant time and relaxed with your family and enjoy the braai, etc. And take some time off, guys. You deserve it. And hopefully we can collect some money on Saturday.
Thank you very much, Clark. Let's hope so. Let's hope the good form continues into Saturday's meeting.
And Daryn, I must ask
and
you...
I just want to mention one more thing. With regards to Cape Town, I do fancy a horse called Salvatore Mundi. I think they went the right trip with him last time out. Richard Fourie has opted to ride one-way traffic, the stable companion, but I do believe he's on the wrong one. I think there's much more to come from Salvatore Mundi.
He has to ride for his sponsor though, so
okay.
Yeah.
And what price is that horse?
It was 6-1, but a couple of guys climbed into 4s already.
Okay, excellent. So 4-1, but we can add that. Now, if you add that to the 420-1 multiple bet, you got 2,000-1, all those horses.
Yeah.
You can retire.
But you're trying to break the bank here.
If we don't do it now, we're never going to do it. Let me tell you, we're all in trouble. But thank you nevertheless, boys. Enjoy. Thank you very much.
All right.
And we'll see you all soon.
Thanks, guys. Cheers.